What's up, folks, and welcome to another episode of Real Amigos. I am one of your hosts, Chris, and with me as always are my two co-hosts, Donnie and Phil. Phil, let's start with you. Man, what's up? How are you?
Man, great. Yeah. Snowing where I'm at. Which reminds me that we've been doing this almost a year.
That's right. It was cold.
Is it a wintry mix, or is it just
straight up snow? It's snowing.
Oh, Donnie? Has it snowing in Florida there, man?
Not since 1989.
Dude, I will never forget 1989. 1989 was the year that Tim Burton's Batman came out, and yes, I was at Granny's house on Villanova Circle, and I got the Batwing with a Batman figure from Kenner for Christmas, and the Batwing that from that line had a little handle on the underside of it, so you could carry it around, and it would shoot a little missile between the bat ears on the front. And I just remember running around in the yard by myself in the snow.
I think I had this toy
with my Batwing. Great memory. One of my favorite Christmases. So
I had a Batman figure, a Bat Cave, and a Joker figure in the Batmobile. And somewhere, probably at Donnie's house, there's a VHS tape of me doing stop action videos with those guys.
Yes, I have that tape.
And so there's a Batmobile that's like comes and it hits the Joker and he flips up over the
top and rolls over. Yeah.
If Donnie could get us a digital copy of that, you could put it in right here.
I know, Donnie. He need to work on that. That'd be great.
Stop action episode.
Yeah. Let's think about the likelihood of between all three of us of me doing a digital copy of anything.
Bare minimum, just record it on your phone while you watch it on TV.
Might do that.
I will say this though. I often think that I could have probably been a YouTube star if YouTube was a thing when I was 10.
Undoubtedly.
You know? Man,
no question.
Dude, it's like my favorite thing. Stop motion, just goofy stuff that we used to do. Yeah.
I got a kid in my church that does stop motion stuff. He does a pretty good job with it.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta have the patience for it,
but see, it's easy now.
Cool. No,
the technology that kids have in their phones is better than movie producers had 25 years ago.
Absolutely. Yeah.
No offense, kid in your church. You might be great. Kid, I don't know who you are.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The tools are
but
the tools are
Donnie
easier.
I've said for years that if we had the video editing software capabilities that the kids have, we would have made awesome stuff. Yeah. We and that's an excuse. We could have figured it out. We did figure it out. We did some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
We did some good stuff.
You should post some of those, Donnie.
But like now, I shared with you guys, Kira's my oldest daughter. She's 12. She wanted to start a YouTube channel, so she is editing her own videos now, and she does a pretty dang good job. I mean, it genuinely made me laugh whenever she showed me the final cut of her.
I watched it. It was good.
So, yeah, I mean, she's 12,
funny. She's got your personality for sure.
She does have my personality. Real quick before we move on.
Why are we talking about kids?
Hang on,
man.
Before we move on, that Batman figure, by the way, it was black and it had the yellow belt, and the yellow belt would pull up, and it had a little pull string, so you could hook it up, and he would zip up to it. Oh man, I love that.
Had that toy.
Such great, man. It's so great.
But the Joker figure that came with that toy line was like the comic book Joker. It was not the Jack Nicholson. Joker.
I'm trying to think. I actually don't think I literally think I just got the Batman and the Batman. I don't know that I had the Joker.
What are we doing?
We're talking about 80.
It was just the toy Batman release for the '89 Batman movie.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so let's talk. The last episode we dropped. Well, it was Kenner. Yeah, Kenner had the license back then. The last episode we dropped was Halloween. We talked about Pet Cemetery. That was really fun.
Yes, we did.
Did you guys have a good Halloween? And any fun or interesting notes from Halloween?
Yeah, I got one. I run a booth at our church where you throw darts at balloons.
You still do that?
So this year I decided to make it Nerf guns with needles sticking out of the ends of the darts.
Oh, stupid.
No, actually it was great.
Did it go good?
It went okay. So the third kid that comes to my booth, right, is this little girl. She's tiny. She's like 3 or something, 4 maybe. So I load the gun and I cock the gun and I kind of hold the gun and they just kind of move it and pull the trigger so that nobody gets hurt.
Yeah.
So this dad is standing there and I'm thinking, well, this guy, he's acting like he's going to be kind of helpful. Daughter yanks the gun out of my hand, immediately puts her finger over the end,
oh no,
pops it right into her finger, fires it into her finger. This is like the third kid of the night, and blood is coming out everywhere. She is crying, rubbing blood all over Dad's pants. And I'm like, wait, I'm sorry. Let me get a Band-Aid. And Dad's like, it's okay. We're all right, okay. And they walked off, and I never saw him again. Probably not until a lawsuit anyway.
Yeah. But, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Nobody else all night got hurt. We probably had 100 kids come through, and none of them got hurt. Just that one.
Does not sound like a great idea.
Nothing says welcome to our small-time neighborhood fall festival like a needle in the end of a Nerf gun.
It's great.
It's like, hey kids, don't worry about the razor blades in your candy. You just got to worry about these Nerf guns.
It was fun, dude. We had fun. The kids loved it.
Oh, is anybody still doing the goldfish?
No, we didn't do any water stuff this year.
Does anybody do the ring toss with the bottles?
Did the rope-a-coke, yes.
Rope-a-coke.
I built that.
Yeah.
Rope-a-coke.
That, yes.
All right.
I like it. We did a trick or treat at our church the week after Halloween, which I know that was my impression too.
Yes.
But it
trunk and treat is well.
You don't want to honor Halloween.
I think that they just wanted to kind of split. It was actually because the Halloween was in the middle of the week, right? It's like a Wednesday, so I think we did it the Saturday after. Yeah, so I think they were just waiting for a weekend. I don't know. Whatever. It was fine.
In Louisville, Kentucky, they sent out a citywide notification that Halloween would be celebrated on the 30th because the weather was projected to be so bad on the 31st.
Oh, wow.
And so all the kids in Louisville went trick-or-treating on October 30th.
Cool. I wish we could just change it every day, just jack with people. Be like, this year,
we're celebrating
on the 19th.
Be like Thanksgiving?
Yeah, speaking of, Thanksgiving is coming up. Yeah, that's what we're here for. Real quick, before we jump in, because we've got a lot to talk about.
This is real Amigos.
Anything of note that you guys want? You seen anything good? Done anything fun that we need to talk about? I finished.
Shot a kid with a Nerf needle.
Yeah, that was pretty hilarious.
It was something.
Yeah, that was something.
You probably shouldn't have said it like that, Donnie. Should there be a lawsuit?
She technically shot herself, I think is how that went.
Mr. Miles, here on the screen, you're going to notice Exhibit A is a video of you confessing to your friends that you pulled the trigger. Is that
I did not pull the trigger, everyone. Let's be clear. I did watch a couple of movies, though. If you want to watch a really, really, really terrible movie, really bad, Legend with Tom Cruise.
Oh, I love that movie.
Are you kidding me?
I haven't watched it in a long time, but I love it. I love it back.
It's terrible. Oh my gosh.
The big Satan.
Yeah, man. Tim Curry.
Good.
I did watch Crazy Rich Asians with my wife.
Yeah,
we had fun with that. It was good.
Oh,
good.
I liked
it.
I liked it.
Funny.
Haven't watched it yet.
I watched Solo again, which I enjoyed more this time. I think I liked the movie.
I've seen it 3 times now, and each time I've liked it a little bit better.
Yeah, that's. I watched a few others, but those are the main ones.
I finished season 3 of Daredevil.
You told us that already, didn't you?
No, not on the show. I hadn't finished it whenever we recorded the last show.
Oh, okay.
I was watching it. I hadn't finished.
Donnie gets your real world conversations mixed up with.
Yeah, that's true.
I started it, but I'm only about episode 3 so far.
It is maybe my favorite season end to end of any TV show of any time. I love it.
That's high praise, sir.
So good.
There's probably not any hyperbole there.
I'm just saying. I just thought it was great. It didn't struggle from the normal pacing issues that I feel like most Marvel shows struggle with, and it actually even went 13 episodes. Most of them, even though I love the first season of Daredevil, but even that I felt like would have been better at 8 or 10 episodes. But this one, all 13, man, I was there. It was great. I thought it was excellent.
Groovy.
Okay, Phil, you see anything?
About you, Phil?
I watched this movie.
Yep. I also watched this movie.
I watched the first few minutes of Mile 22.
Oh, how was that so far?
And I was watching it with a couple of my son and a kid from our church.
Oh no!
And realized we're about 100 F words in, 6 minutes in, so I'm probably going to go ahead and turn this off. Looked like it might be interesting, but we may never know.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. Yeah, that sometimes I try to check things before I watch it, but sometimes I don't, and then I get. Speaking of, we had a little moment in this movie, which we're going to talk about in a little while.
Yes.
Oh yeah, there's a tirade in this movie.
So 18 in 1 minute.
Yeah.
But,
hang on.
And for me, typically, I will say, for me, that's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
But I had somebody else's kid in my house, and it was like, I don't know what their movie rules are. This has got to go.
Absolutely.
And then.
Hey, Dad, guess what Mr. Miles let me do?
I was watching this movie, Mile 22.
Showgirls.
We got to listen to F-bombs and say them. It was great.
Yeah. No, not Mr. Miles.
What are you calling?
Pastor Miles.
He goes to our church.
Right. Pastor Miles.
We may have to edit this whole episode out.
No. So yeah, we turned that off. And then I did watch, I don't know if I talked about this in the last episode, but it's been since then. I watched a little Netflix joint called To All the Boys I've Loved Before.
Oh, no. I think
my wife.
Said that you wanted to watch it, but I don't think you watched it yet.
And
how was it?
I liked it a lot.
Yeah?
I liked it a lot, yeah.
It's on my list. I love
Netflix.
Good. So
we enjoyed it.
Oh, hey, they announced Disney Plus. That's a new thing. You guys see this? I'm super pumped for Disney Plus.
Is this their streaming service?
Yeah. Yeah, it launches next year.
Does that mean that all Disney movies will no longer be available on any other service?
Correct.
See, I don't like that.
I hate that.
Oh, I absolutely love it. It's going to be great.
It's a money grab.
But it's Disney.
There's a GIF out there somewhere where it's like Disney equals, and it's a guy like thumbing through his cash.
But the point is that if anybody could really sustain a service, it's Disney.
Oh, of course.
I mean, they have,
especially now they have Marvel and they have.
Yeah.
Does that mean we won't be able to watch Marvel on Netflix? We won't be able to watch Star Wars on Netflix?
Correct.
Muppets?
It'll all be Disney. Yeah, it's all gonna be gone. Now they've already greenlit. They have limited series for Marvel. They have a limited Scarlet Witch series starring the Olsen girl. They have a limited Loki series starring Tom Holland. They're doing Mandalorians. They're doing the Diego Luna prequel to Rogue One. Oh no, Tom Holland. Tom Hiddleston.
Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah. I mean, there's gonna be some great stuff on there. I'm excited. They're doing a Monsters Inc. animated series made by Pixar, so I'm in.
Does that mean that
I'm in?
Yeah, like the little episodes of
talking about the preview.
What is that?
You talking about the things they do before the movies, the little minis?
No, I'm talking about what's the movie where the alien comes to Hawaii?
Oh,
Lilo and Stitch. Like there's little shows, Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah.
So is it? It's basically the Disney Channel. It's the Disney Channel.
It is the Disney Channel on steroids. Yes.
Yeah.
Which means I could get Disney Plus and downgrade my cable.
Yeah, you're not going to need the channel anymore. Yeah,
y'all are off the rails, man.
I can honestly say I don't need it now.
Let's get to what we're here for, ladies and gentlemen. We're here to celebrate Thanksgiving. We're here to talk about the fun movie, but we have what?
I forgot to mention Chris. Because I saw this thing behind Donnie and it made me think of this.
Yes, I love
it. Have either of you guys heard of Mondo?
Mondo, no.
They do art. Well, Chris, you have a poster up behind you.
Oh, yeah.
They do artistic renderings of movie posters.
Yeah, I have seen these
movies come out. Yeah. Donnie, you should look into that.
Yeah, it actually is really cool. Yeah, I have seen it. Now that you say it,
I've seen a service called Displate. It is
a thing stuff now for collectible poster limited edition runs.
Yeah, it's the same kind of deal.
But
if I ever need to build my podcast room, that's what I want. I just want like wall to wall posters, like really cool posters.
Dude, I have literally 1,000 posters in my home.
I know.
You're gonna see a new one every week. Every time we do this.
So I guess the idea here is like it comes from this notion that there was like for a long time posters just had even the Avengers, right? It's just like the guys, the actors, they're pitching the actors.
Yeah.
And so these guys will do like artistic kind of, hey, this is what we wish the poster had looked like.
Yeah.
If it was more about the movie and less about the actors. Or
I love it. I have seen them now that you bring it up, but yeah, I did.
Anyway, I heard about that this week, and I thought, well,
and Toy Story 4 looks dumb too, by the way.
Yeah, it's gonna be stupid. It's gonna be a tragedy.
It's funny because Detective Pikachu was shown the exact same day, and Detective Pikachu looks amazing. And then they showed Toy Story 4, and I just
fake news.
Care
False.
Yeah, Toy Story 4 has me really sad right now, but we'll talk about that later. Okay, before we get into the subject at hand, which we are here to talk about a Thanksgiving movie, we do our favorite segment to start. Well, not really to start, I guess to buffer each one of our episodes.
It started a long time ago.
Right in the middle.
Just now getting here.
And that is a little feature we like to call Donnie's Top 5! All right, Donnie, let's go.
All right. John Candy. I remember when John Candy died. I was living in Texas, 1994. Totally bummed out. This jolly oaf of a comedy legend was gone. A lot of good memories of his roles in my head growing up. You had Private Foley riding through the streets of Los Angeles in a tank in 1941. You had Ox, the lovable dummy in Basic Training in Stripes. You had Tom Hanks' crazy brother in Splash. You had him saving the galaxy as Barf in Spaceballs. Trying to cope with a deranged Dan Aykroyd in The Great Outdoors. That was a good one. Surviving Macaulay Culkin and threatening to kill Bug in Uncle Buck.
I love Uncle Buck.
And, of course, coaching the Jamaican bobsledding team in, I believe it was his last feature movie, Cool Runnings.
Feel nice the rhythm, feel the rhyme. Watch out, world, it's bobsled time.
Yes. Little Jamaica reference in tonight's film.
You're going to have to tell us.
You're going to have to remind us. Okay.
You want to do it now or you want to do it later?
Do it later. Save it. So John Candy, if you watch his movies, he has like this kind of goofy warmth about him that just kind of makes you love the guy.
I love John Candy.
So in honor of John, one of the stars of tonight's movie, I'm titling tonight's list Donnie's Top 5 Great Candy Moments in Film.
Yeah.
Oh,
Here we go. Number 1, Turkish Delight from the Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Wait a second. So these are not John Candy references.
No, you didn't already pick that up? You just now got.
Oh my god! I was waiting for Chris to get it. Chris never catches on, so I was giving him a second.
I never get there.
So I've never had this stuff. It does not look appealing at all.
No, it looks awful.
But Edmund in the movie sells out his family for it, so it must be, maybe it's better than it looks. I don't know. But have you ever had any English? Have you ever had any kind of English food? It's never lived up to the fanfare, so I doubt that it's any good.
There's no way the British do sweets well,
dude. No,
I don't think would betray that theory.
I don't think their food is their thing. I don't think that's. They do war really well.
You know what else is not their thing? Teeth is also not their thing.
Yeah, they do tea. They do empires. They do war, but food doesn't seem. Like
I went thing. There's a place in Dallas area, DFW. It's a chain restaurant there, Chris. It's I can't remember the name of it, but it's a British style like pub and grill type thing. And I went there once and I ate bangers and mash.
Oh yeah.
Because hey, bangers and mash.
Hey, why not?
You're gonna eat British food.
Gotta do it.
Sure.
Terrible.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I've been to a British pub before. Terrible. Not in Britain, but like you, and it was like, what is this? This is like blah blah.
A British guy that I knew at the time asked me, he's like, "What'd you think?" And I said, "That was the best." That's gonna be
the dumbest conversation we've ever had. It's called Turkish. It's called Turkish Delight. It's not British. Those Turks, man. They can't make candy.
We're only talking about it because the characters
are talking about a British movie. Wow, that was really bad. Go ahead, Phil. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
so the British friend, when he asked me what I thought of bangers and mash, I hesitated, and he said, "Let me guess, not enough salt." And I said, "Exactly." And he said, "You Americans burn everything with salt."
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, they don't need a lot of salt. Yeah.
He's British, so. All right, so that's number 1.
Turkish foods. Should we have a diatribe about Turkish foods now?
I don't know.
Because I had Turkish coffee, and I found it quite delightful.
Okay, well, maybe Turkish Delight is a coffee flavor. I don't know.
Oh, man.
All right, so that's 1. These are, as usual, in no particular order, by the way. Number 2 is Box of Chocolates from Forrest Gump, 1994.
Amen.
The more times I watch that movie, the more I want to thump Forrest upside the head and tell him to, get over it, dummy. But you cannot argue with the accuracy of his renowned Box of Chocolates line. Life is like a box.
Sure.
You never know what you're going to get. All right, number 3 on my list is Reese's Pieces from a little film that you might have heard of called E.T. Extraterrestrial. Now, we've all tried this approach with our pets, with maybe an inferior substitute like some sort of dog bones or maybe beef jerky bits or whatever to try to lure them in. But Elliot nails it, man. Sugar-coated, peanut buttery, goodness. Great candy, great scene. Classic.
It is a great scene.
My favorite movie snack.
Yeah, mine too. Yeah.
It's high on my list. If I can't get peanut butter cups, Reese's Pieces is my fallback for sure. All right, number 4.
Hey, how do you refer to Reese? How do you refer to the cups? Give me the cups by how do you refer? Give me I'm taking your movie order. What would you like, sir?
I would say I'll have Reese cups. That's how I always say it.
What?
I don't even
Reese
put
cups.
the extra S on.
I'll
have Reese cups.
You say Reese cups?
That's what I say.
Or I might say Reese's.
I say
cups.
Reese's peanut butter cups.
I do not ever say the peanut butter part. I might say Reese's cups.
Well, the peanut butter part's implied, Chris. There's not chocolate.
What else has Reese's and cup in it? That's what you're asking for. All right, moving on. Number 4 is Gummy Bears from Ferris Bueller's Day Off in 1986. I've mentioned the scene before, but it deserves a retweet. Ed Rooney, principal, stuck on the bus, offered, quote, nice and warm pocket gummies by a schoolgirl, just trying to look out for her principal, right? His response, flicks it across the bus. Unforgivable, man. Guy's a jerkweed. Number 5. Pixie Sticks from a little film in 1985 called The Breakfast Club. What else would you top off your bread, butter, and Captain Crunch sandwich with than Pixie Sticks?
Does someone want a snorting Pixie Stick?
I'm not sure if she snorts it or not, but anyway, Allison does it. Number 6. Now this is a little longer. Baby Ruth. From the Goonies, 1985, but also from Caddyshack, 1980. Chunk smacks Sloth upside the head with a candy bar. It's a great moment. Sloth chanting, as Philip just demonstrated, Ruth, 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 Baby Ruth.
Well, I wasn't going to finish it. I didn't want to interrupt any further.
But those are great. The Goonies are great. But here's the thing you may not know. There's a little trivia for you in this tonight. The caddies on the poolside in Caddyshack, they break out what you think is a Baby Ruth bar, but it's actually, there is no H on the end. It's a Baby Rut bar. If you look closely, you can see
I know this story.
Yeah,
sorry.
It's true. I looked it up today. It's true. So their Baby Rut bar quickly becomes a pool clearing chunk of duty. Classic moment.
Duty!
However, here's my issue with the duty scene. We forget the classic follow-up when Carl, Bill Murray, is cleaning the pool, picks up said Baby Rut, sniffs it, declares it's no big deal, and takes a big old bite out of it, causing Judge Smale's wife to faint, to fall out.
Big deal.
Okay?
No big
that
deal.
is on the Mount Rushmore of comedy gross-out scenes, man.
But
never
come on,
forget
let's be honest. Regardless of whether or not it's a real duty, which obviously it's not, who wants to eat a snack that's been floating around? You know how long it takes to drain a pool that size? It would be soggy and
it would have been gross.
All right, number whatever.
I have a friend that was at a Great Wolf Lodge when cleared the whole facility because someone pooped on the slide going down to the pool portion.
Oh, that's so gross.
Code Brown. Did you get back in the pool? They cleared it?
Code Brown. Code Brown. Code Brown. Code Brown.
They called it Code Brown.
All right.
You get back in the water after they cleared it. I think, did you get back in the water?
That's so gross. I would not. No. I don't care if I was staying a week and it was the first day of my vacation. I would not go back in that pool.
The whole week?
Nope. I'd get a hose out, just get a sprinkler and play in the sprinkler.
Chris wouldn't have been in the pool in the first place.
Oh, Pam, no.
I can't argue with that, though, Chris. I really can't argue with you on that because I'm not a big public pool guy. All right.
Touching that.
Coming in at the next number on my list is Every Candy Ever Made from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, 1971. Enough said. Not getting into that. And here's my number one.
I love Willy Wonka.
My number one, I'm guaranteeing neither of you could ever guess, but here it is. My number one is a Nestle Crunch Bar. Anybody want to take a guess from what movie that's from?
Nestle
Crunch Bar.
The Nestle Crunch Bar.
I'm going to give you 10 seconds.
Give us a decade.
I'll give you the year, 1988.
88.
Big with Tom Hanks.
Nope.
I don't know.
The Fly.
Right. Nope, that's 86. The answer is Die Hard. Die Hard. My favorite candy movie moment. How do you, while you're a terrorist waiting for the SWAT team to kick down the doors of Nakatomi Plaza and blast you to death, you peek into the concession stand and steal a Crunch Bar.
Yeah, man.
That's what Yuli was the Chinese terrorist in Die Hard. He was in a lot of action movies in the 80s. He was in the Chinese guy, kind of long hair, kind of a bushy stash and beard. Now, I don't know if I would have chosen the same thing that he chose, but good on you, Yuli, for going out with some candy in your belly, man. So that is Donnie's top 5 candy moments in film.
I like it.
I'm surprised you omitted from your gummy bear reference the gummy bears
and some meatballs.
With yeah, when the monkey reaches into the
dude, that scene
gummy bear
is
chest.
Incredible. The Indiana Jones scene. Yeah, it's great.
Oh man,
and the other ones too, probably on that list, but I haven't seen them. That's Donnie's top 5.
I like it. I completely didn't get it once again, but I'm glad it landed. All right.
So when he said top 5 candy moments,
I thought he was going to give us like John Candy moments.
Of course, that's what you thought.
I'm gullible. I'm with the audience on this. Okay, I'm
trying to shake it up here, man.
I got it. I like it.
All the way to the end of Turkish Delight. Chris is like,
huh? That's how I was. I was like, wait, I don't, because I was trying to think, was he a voice? And I don't understand.
That would have been quite a feat
because he'd already been dead. So yeah, okay. Let's do this real quick. So we've changed things up a little bit. We're actually only recording once a month at this point. So if you're listening and you're like, hey, we've already wasted half of the show, maybe not. We're gonna go as long as we need to in order to talk about the movie that we have at hand. But because it is November and because Thanksgiving is right around the corner, if you're listening to this when we drop it, Thanksgiving will be in just a few days. We thought we needed to do something that was of the season, and there really is there's not a lot of Thanksgiving movies, but there definitely isn't one as good as the movie we're going to cover. That's right, but the movie that we're going to cover tonight is probably the best, and that is a little movie called Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
I'd like to interject here and say thank you that you guys were not willing to just overlook Thanksgiving as the culture does, because I'm convinced that Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday.
Oh wow! That's bold.
Christmas.
Wow,
good one.
It's bold. That's bold. I don't know that I agree, but it's bold.
Fine.
It is a bold.
You don't have to.
So we'll talk about that. Actually, that's a conversation I want to have. So let's hang on for that real quick. Okay, so just facts real quic. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles came out in 1987. It was directed and written by John Hughes. Now, this is something that I did not know. I watched it. I had not seen it in years. I watched it with my wife this week, and so we got to the end, and screen goes black. First name that comes up, written and directed by John Hughes, and I was like, "What?" I was surprised. So stars Steve Martin, John Candy, and then a bunch of other people. That's all you really need to know. You guys should all be familiar with this movie. So
one of the Lawrence brothers.
Yeah, Matthew.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Let's not forget that.
Was that Punky Brewster?
No, that's not Punky Brewster.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know.
It looks kind of like.
I didn't know the wife either.
I don't remember her much.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so let's let me say this first. So I hadn't seen it in a while. What I realized, which we will get to the rental car scene at some point, but I will just say that what I realized is that I don't think that I'd ever seen this not on television. So, so there were a few things that kind of caught me by surprise with that scene specifically. So,
yeah, oddly enough, for a Thanksgiving movie, is not really a family-friendly movie.
No,
most of it is, except for like about a 2-minute scene.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's pretty mostly family-friendly.
Yeah. I will say that I was in tears at the end of this movie.
I knew it. I knew it. You cried.
Lame-o.
Whatever. All right, Donnie, let's kick it over to you. Let's you when we talked about this is the one you kind of pulled for. So why don't you kick us off? Where do we start with Plane, Trains, and Automobiles?
Let's start with this. John Candy's a con artist.
Oh, I have a different theory.
Oh, wait a second. Is that what you're positing?
Think this movie through. Think this movie through all the way. John is a total con man. The whole movie. He ends up living with Steve Martin at the end of this, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the implication.
That's the implication. By the way, I hate the last frame of this movie. It's stupid. I love this movie. It's way better than I remembered it. But the freeze frame on John Candy just stand there smiling.
Oh,
is stupid.
While they're making out. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what is this?
I will tell you what it is when I get to my
voyeurism. Oh. He's like watching them make out.
You're wrong.
Okay, wait a second.
Is he a murderer? Is he a serial killer?
No.
All right, hang on. So
what's in that trunk, John? What's in that big old steamer trunk you've been dragging around the whole
Marie?
Because this theory,
Marie is in the trunk.
Exactly.
This theory holds a lot of crap. The whole movie changed just in a matter of a second.
Life, Chris.
Now I'm upset that I cried. That actually, I mean, that
in light of recent news events where that couple from New England is being charged with have you heard about this?
Nuh-uh.
Weren't they
about a year ago? This couple in New Jersey
GoFundMe
like $400,000 for some homeless guy.
I saw that today.
Because he gave them $20 for their gas, only to find out that they conned the whole nation and are being charged for a crime. So he's their John Candy, according to Donnie.
Okay,
I have a different theory about this.
Before we jump in here, let's give a real quick synopsis, just in case somebody has, by some chance, not seen this movie. So the movie is basically about Steve Martin is a businessman. He is in. I want to talk about like the places in this movie because the time seemed all kind of jacked up. But he's a businessman. He's in New York. He's trying to get back home to Chicago, and everything goes wrong. The plane has to land somewhere, Kansas City or Wichita, wherever. And then you try to get a train, and that doesn't work. And then they try to get Greyhound bus,
an automobile,
and an automobile. This is all of it. And so, but along the way, he meets John Candy, and John Candy, who we've just found out is a con man, who's trying.
No, he's not, and I'll tell you why.
We'll get there
in a moment.
In the movie, John Candy is just a regular guy, fun-loving, overzealous, very
buffoon,
kind of a buffoon, who gets attached to Steve Martin, and they go on this journey together to try and get Steve Martin home before Thanksgiving. So that's the synopsis. Donnie,
you just made this sound like Brokeback Mountain.
Well, they don't make out at any specific
they
point.
They go on a journey together.
They do sleep together a couple of times.
They do sleep together. Correct.
Pillows.
So
yes.
All right. So that's where we start. So okay. So let me. I'll just go ahead, since I kind of alluded to it. I want to talk about time. So
you in time, dude.
He's in New York, right? The movie starts.
We need to know what day of the week.
Lay out every movie like on a time frame.
I don't know why we don't have a graph. That should be a segment.
There should be. I should start making
Chris
one.
Lays out the timeline.
That should be
Chris's timeline of movie timeline. There you go.
I'll need to work on that.
Here's the jingle. Timelines, movies, timelines.
Start with Infinity War.
So you assume that he's there until the end of the business day because everybody's rushing, but he's rushing to get to the airport.
Well, yeah, because he was late for the flight.
He was late for the flight, right? So they have this really cute thing where he pays this guy for the taxi, and then John Candy takes it, and that's funny. When he stole his rental car later on, that was just so great. But they get to the airport. Things are going, like they're going. They do get on the plane, and Steve Martin kind of tells them, "Hey, I don't really want to talk to you, whatever." And then it flashes, and it's pitch black dark. Everybody's sleeping. What's the flight from New York to Chicago? It can't be more than 3 hours, right?
It's 45 minutes according to the ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but
remember, they're headed to Wichita, and they've been stranded on the tarmac for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know. They were already in the air whenever they were talking, weren't they? I don't know. It felt weird. It felt like they were going to Hong Kong. And I was like, this is the longest flight to Chicago I have ever seen in my life.
They didn't fly to Chicago.
It doesn't matter still. How far is it to Wichita? It can't be that long.
Another hour?
Speaking of Phil, you brought up the plane ticket.
Okay, well, you got time. Oh, we can do that.
No. How come, I guess I know the answer to this already, but it bugs me. When did audiences become so dumb that they have to highlight the portion of they do this in every movie though. It's like, if you have to read something, it's on screen for 30 seconds. You're like,
yeah,
okay, I read it the first two. Yeah, come on, let's move on. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess you just have to account for everybody.
Yeah.
Well, I can respond to Chris's concern.
Society.
Okay. The time concerns.
So first of all, they left late. It's the fall. I live in the north. This time of year, it's dark by 5.
That's not the point, though. It wasn't dark when they were sitting talking, and he's like, "Hey, bud, I just don't like to talk." And then they instantly they cut, and the next shot is pitch black dark, and everybody is sleeping in the plane.
I have no problem with this. I have no problem with this. It's a business travel crowd at the end of a long work week. Number one. Number two, once they take off, they turn off the lights to the cabin. That's standard operating procedure on any flight in the evening.
You came prepared to rebut the timeline.
Okay. The other big issue that I'm gonna have in this movie, besides timing, which was a huge problem, is I don't like anything about it. And it starts in the airplane with the socks. And the guy takes his feet out. This movie.
His dogs are barking.
This is the most uncomfortable I've been watching a movie in, and I can't even remember when. And it starts on the plane.
I'm so glad we picked
And it's
this.
Even the foot. It's not even like the foot that was aiming towards the aisle. It's the foot that's aiming right towards Steve Martin, and that's the sock that comes off. Yep. I would have left. I would have just been like, I need to get off the plane. It's like Thanksgiving is not that important. I would not do it. I would not.
I wish that we could remake. I wish we had the technology to edit Chris into all of these uncomfortable scenes.
Yes.
To see how he would actually was like, no.
Oh,
we already know. We've all seen the gif of Lloyd Christmas gagging. We already know how to respond to every situation.
Oh, I just couldn't do it. Okay,
my God.
So
that's great.
But we're going to be talking about this is one of about 80 things that just drive me crazy. So we'll talk about them all as we get there.
People on airplanes are the worst, man.
Oh, they're awful.
I don't there's no respect for personal space at all. And I'm a big dude, and I'm always cognizant of where I am.
Me too.
If I'm the guy who gives up the armrest.
I know. So am I. I'm like, I don't want to touch anybody.
But other people are just like, I'm gonna nap out on here, man.
I don't want people to breathe on me,
man. No. We're not related, dude. We're not family.
How come two people never wind up next to each other who are both armchair sacrificers, right? I'm a guy who will put my elbows on my hips and rest my arms between my legs. But inevitably, the person next to me goes, oh, it's as if I can unzip my pants here and go and just spill out onto the armrest.
There's so much wrong with what you just said. Let's move on. Let's move on from that.
It was a metaphor. It was a metaphor. Literally.
When they're in the airport sitting there and he's looking across at John Candy while John's reading the book, and they do a quick flashback, but it's not really a flashback, but it's like a car door, and he's sitting there. That scene, I rewatched that like every time. He looks at the camera and he's like surprised look. He's like, what? Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Yeah. The John Candy's mustache though, I wasn't feeling it either.
Oh, I love it.
It was a creep stash. No, I did not like it.
The hair too, man. The curly red hair. I mean, it was rocking.
I love John Candy.
All right.
Great.
John Candy is
we wouldn't have Chris Farley if we didn't have John Candy.
True.
Well, we don't have either of them now, but
yeah, they're all gone. But by the way, Steve Martin running is always hilarious.
Oh, Steve Martin is good. I mean, when Steve Martin, when they're in the bed, they get up. There's something happens in the bed, and they get up and they do like this dance. What is it?
It's when those aren't pillows. And he gets up and he goes, ugh.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, that. Yeah, okay. But that dance, he does like a creep out dance right on the side of the bed.
It's like a Three Amigos move.
I love it.
It kind of is.
This is a great.
It's like a Lucky Day move.
These guys are only movie that Martin and Candy did together.
I think so.
I think so. Yeah.
But they overlapped on SNL, right?
No. John Candy was never on SNL.
No, he was on SCTV, right?
Steve Martin was only on, I think, SNL like 1 year real quick. It was very short.
Early on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. For some reason,
they're great together. I love them. I wish they had done more together. Yeah. They're great in this movie. I love this movie. I forgot how good this movie was.
It is great.
I did a little research and I found out that Steve Martin agreed to do this movie basically because of the scene with the car seat, adjusting the car seat.
Oh yeah.
That he wanted to shoot that scene with John Candy, and so that was the.
And John Candy absolutely nails that scene. He's so annoying. He is your child in the car. He's just like, dude, stop it, please. It's like, nope, that's not right. Oh wait, nope.
I love that they went so ridiculous with it that it even goes sideways.
I know. I love that when he cocks it sideways.
Okay, so let me get to my theory.
The logic of it is that he drives and he doesn't touch the seat at all when he drives.
Right.
You know, it's just when he gets to the passenger seat that he has to adjust.
What's your theory, Phil?
My theory that completely and utterly contrasts Donnie's theory.
Okay, let's hear it because I want to like John Candy.
Del Griffith.
Griffith, yes.
Is
Andy Griffith's son.
No. Oh. He is Steve Martin. What's Steve Martin's name in this movie?
Neil Page.
Neil
Page. He is Neil Page's guardian angel.
Oh, so you don't think he's ever really there?
Whether he is or isn't, he might be. Okay, but it is his job to get. Okay. It is his job to get Neil not only back home, but back to center.
So this is a Thanksgiving version of.
This is no good.
Of It's a Wonderful Life.
From point A. This is no good from point A. John Candy steals his cab. He has that cab sewed up. John steals his cab, dude.
So what?
He's the reason all this crap happens.
And it all needed to happen.
Okay, so he's not an angel. He's like a morality tale here.
Yeah,
he's like teaching. He's like teaching. He's teaching a lesson.
But his job is to screw everything up for Neil in order to get Neil off on this journey to ease his cynicism and chill him out.
Okay.
I like it.
Okay.
And so when you get to the end, this is where I got this theory. When she says, was it nice to meet you or thank you or whatever?
She says, nice to meet you,
Nice
Del.
to meet you, Del.
Del Griffith. She calls him Griffith.
I thought she said Mr. Griffith.
Well, she uses his last name for sure.
Yeah. And he says, nice to meet you, Mrs. Page.
Yeah, he does.
But that look is a shared known. That's the way I read it.
Yeah, except for the freeze frame on John Candy looking super ultra creepy. That's no guardian angel look. That's a serial killer, man.
Whatever.
He has his dead wife in that steamer trunk.
So you think around. So you think the next movie
he takes it out and wears her skin at night in front of the mirror?
It would be interesting. But that's my theory. That's my.
I really dig that. Yeah. And it's funny because I could see both theories. My theory is that it happened exactly how the movie played out, which is that he just,
it could be like a hand that rocks the cradle kind of a deal. Like he's moved into the house now, and he's going to take over and care for the children. And
no, I
want that sequel.
I play, so in my mind it plays out like the movie. He was busy on the road because he's a sales guy and he loves his job, he's good at it, but he missed being home and he thought he'd have all these years and his wife dies. And then he doesn't know, it's like,
which I didn't remember.
What is the
wife
point?
Dying.
Yeah, I didn't either. So what is the point? What is the point of life, right? I mean, everything that he was working towards is now gone. And so he sees basically himself and Steve Martin, and he's like, you're just rushing through everything, right. And trying to teach him a lesson. That's kind of yeah. And so I took it for face value. But now that both of you, I could see both of them. I could totally see him just being a con artist and trying to go from town to town just bumming. And then I could also see like this It's a Wonderful Life scenario where he kind of comes in to teach him a lesson, and I think he does. So.
Yeah. He does, sure.
Okay, so let's get back to so we fly for a little while. It seems
too long.
It seems like 12 hours. I don't know how long that flight is. We get to wherever we're going.
I still say your biggest beef shouldn't be that it's dark on the airplane. Your biggest beef should be that it's not dark when they're in that office till the end of office time, because in this time of year it's dark outside. That time of the year.
That's what.
That time of day.
No, but wait a second. Isn't he in New York?
Yeah, New York, Eastern Time Zone. What? It's still north.
Why are we hooked on time? Who cares? Pointless, irrelevant. Are you guys both gonna ignore? Are you both gonna ignore when he says? I don't remember who says it. Let's play. We're gonna play pick up sticks with our butt cheeks. Guys, that sounds like a great game. Why aren't we playing that game?
Have a better chance of getting a pick up sticks with our butt cheeks and getting a flight out of here.
Rental car or plane or getting out of
at that point. I think they're.
Yeah. That sounds like a good game. Like potato or something. Go ahead. I think it'd be fun.
Did you guys notice who was sitting next to Steve Martin?
In the plane?
In the plane, not on the other side, and what that he and John Candy share in common.
No.
What movie have they been in together previously?
Was an older guy.
I
didn't really pay attention to who he was, though.
Yeah, I didn't either.
He was an old man in an airport in a nice little joint called Home Alone.
Oh, really?
And when Kevin McAllister's mom is trying to get home, she offers her earrings to a lady for her tickets, which, by the way, is totally pre 9/11. The idea that you just buy some tickets off of somebody at the airport,
scalping at the airport. Yeah. Hey man, I got some tickets to this plane.
And then, and the wife's husband, the old man sleeping next to Neil Page on Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, steps up and says, "She doesn't need any earrings. She's got plenty of them."
Oh wow!
Really?
Yeah.
Look at there. I didn't know.
That's funny.
So I am of the opinion that
shared universe.
This movie overlaps somehow with the Home Alone universe.
Oh my gosh.
That old man is at an airport somewhere else.
Still not getting his wife earrings because she doesn't need it.
Right. Because I think that was in Paris. So he winds up catching a later flight.
So they get to the
Dell leaves the house in Chicago and winds up in a polka band to show the Home Alone world.
And she's also a guardian angel, and that's
yes. She does get the tickets, by the way.
I don't remember Home Alone very well. I'll have to go back and watch that.
Oh, Home Alone's great.
That's Christmas.
So we get to. Are we going to get to the hotel room here? Because the hotel room is a big deal.
Well, we can't get to the hotel before we get to that sweet taxi. I thought that taxi with hydraulics was amazing. And what I love is that you hear the music, but it's one of those things that you don't necessarily, you don't instantly think that the music's coming from inside of the car. You think it's just part of the soundtrack. But then when you get there and he opens the door, it's blaring. So he has been listening to that song in the back of that taxi the whole time.
Yeah, that taxi was pretty sweet.
What I love is the idea that this like Wichita taxi driver is conning these like street smart New Yorker guys.
Yeah, taking them around town.
Why is it taking so long? Oh, I just wanted to show you my town. He goes, "Hey man, he's just proud of his town. There's not a lot of that left in the world."
Wow.
He's like, it's nighttime. Like the conversations between these two guys.
I think it was called a Taxiola, wasn't it? It didn't say Taxiola on the side.
That guy played a character on Friends for a few seasons named Mr. Heckles.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff. He's a comedy guy. He's been around for a while. I don't remember his name.
So these days that wouldn't be a white actor though. They whitewash Hispanic culture.
Yeah, I know. Whatever. Probably wouldn't be a man either, but whatever. So we get to the hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever directed this whole sequence knows the human psyche. Like whoever put this together knows what makes people uncomfortable in a very, very real way, man.
Oh, man.
First of all, it starts when they walk in and it's a single bed.
Mm-hmm.
And what I love about it, if you notice, that they show both points of view. Like Steve Martin's looking around the room, and his eyes are drawn to the bed, and then he kind of tries to look away, like not looking at it. And then they cut to John Candy. He's looking around the room, single bed. See, it's like they can't look away from it. It's like a double take for both of them. And you're like, oh yeah, that's exactly how you would feel. So here's the question. Would you sleep with another man? There is no chance in Hades that I would sleep in a bed with another dude. Ever. No way.
No other man or a stranger?
No man. I don't want to sleep with anyone. You wouldn't
share a bed with me or your son or Chris or any of the guys from your church that you've known for 10, 15 years?
I don't think so. I think I would just be like, hey, give me a pillow and let me have let me have the what do you call that? The comforter off the top, and I'll hit the floor.
Dirtiest part, dude.
Whatever.
Part that doesn't
cleaner than the floor. Cleaner than the floor.
Dude, the floor is okay, so this will surprise you. All right, are you ready?
You do it.
I would have absolutely slept with the guy. Without even thinking about it. Yeah. I mean, in that moment, you walk in and there's only one bed. Oh, yeah.
Of audio.
Yeah, please slept with that guy.
I would absolutely.
Without even thinking about it. I mean, you're clothed. I mean, I'm not sleeping naked. I mean, I'm fully clothed. I mean, I'd probably wear like sweatpants and a sweater. I mean, I would, but like
that Steve Martin is in his underwear is problematic.
Yeah. Yes. This is my personal hell, dude. I mean, this is not
it's weird because like of all the things that bothered me in this movie, that really wasn't one of them.
Yeah, that bothered me more than the bathroom scene.
Oh, no.
Wait, don't talk about the bathroom yet.
No.
Because with the bed, you could just get like one guy gets the sheet, one guy gets you don't have to share blankets.
Yeah. You both got your own pillow. Yeah.
You guys aren't going to convince me. I know you're trying hard.
Bought his own pillow.
Yeah.
Not happening.
That's right. Yeah. No, I would have absolutely. Now, when he comes out, John Candy had spilled a beer all over the bed.
Yeah.
At that point, I would not have slept in it. I mean, at that point, I would sleep on the floor or somewhere.
Refresh my memory. Did we know?
No.
Did we see the beer spill?
No. So
they don't show the beer.
We see him
so the subtle line of, I didn't know they would explode.
Yes.
You left them on a vibrating bed.
Yeah, left them on a vibrating bed.
That's the only
What did you think was going to happen?
Yeah.
Oh my.
That's gross.
Perfect.
All right, so let's get to the bathroom, Phil. Let's do the bathroom.
That's my personal hell.
Yeah, no, it's all part of it for me.
My gosh.
It's
he gets out.
It shows his feet touching the ground. Oh my gosh. I almost stopped watching it at this point. This is the point where I actually picked up the remote and I'm like, I don't think I can watch any more of this.
Let me tell you something. It's not even that his foot touched the ground. When his foot squeezes moisture out of the little towel.
I know.
Oh yeah.
You know it's cold water. Oh. It has cooled off.
Yeah. Oh no.
No one. I mean, I get it. It's exaggerated humor, but nobody's that disgusting, are they? I mean,
I bet they are.
I mean, John Candy, he's in there smoking, drinking beer on the vibrating bed. No, come on.
Maybe. Dude, I have to say though, that Steve Martin using the little washcloth to dry off is pretty great.
It is great.
I love when he puts it, Phil behind his back, and that's awesome.
Have you ever dried off with a washcloth or a hand towel?
I have dried off with a hand towel.
Yeah, I have before. Now so that was hard to watch, and I was like, I don't think I could do it. But it gets worse because we fast forward to the morning. And he goes in to wash his face, and the sink is filled with dirty socks that have been soaked in water overnight.
Yeah. Okay. So here's my question on that. I wrote this question down.
Oh, I would die. I would just set myself on fire.
No.
Chris, you never would have found yourself in this situation because you would never befriend a stranger long enough to get in a car or ride next to him on a plane.
Absolutely not.
So what is grosser? Is it grosser that he washed his face with the sock water or that he dried his face with the underwear? Which one is more disgusting?
Okay, this is, and again, I know we played it up for humor, but the improbability, I would never
just
walk into a sink full of water and go, this is probably usable.
Because who would have put it there? Nobody.
Oh, in a hotel even.
But no, definitely the underwear.
Yeah, the underwear. Yeah, because he didn't wash those. At least the socks have soaked in water.
Oh gosh, no.
But the underwear are just their underwear.
Are those his dirty underwear? Do they
have to be? Why would the
outside of the underwear? Oh, come on. It's not the inside of the underwear, it's the outside.
Oh, come on. Oh, Jesus, take the wheel. That does not even matter. Come on.
Of underwear. Because your underwear only smell bad on one side.
You're talking about sock water. Chris just got off an airplane a minute ago. Someone took his sock off in front of him.
Those very socks.
Oh, I'm not saying that they're not both like my worst nightmare, but I'm just saying between those two things.
That's so gross.
I like that John Candy says, "Hey Neil, go ahead and take my socks out of the water before you brush your teeth." Like he needed to be given a heads up.
Oh, what if he had brushed his teeth with that water? That would be the worst.
I would have stopped. At that point, I could not have watched it anymore. I would have just given it up at that point.
I can see Chris coming on the podcast being like, guys, I got to tell you, I couldn't watch the rest of this movie. I'm sorry.
I just don't understand. How long do these guys think they're going to be on the road that they need to wash all their clothes?
Yeah.
With such I got to soak my socks. And those aren't going to be dry. How's he going to dry those?
Yeah. No,
I love that John Candy says to him. He says they get into the argument at the end there. Yeah. He says I even let you pay for it so you didn't feel like you're an intruder. That's a good line. I like that a lot.
Here's an idea. Have a point. It makes it so much easier for the hearer.
He says they're not even amusing accidentally. now at that point, that's when John Candy starts tearing up, and it's brutal, man. You're like, oh my gosh, man,
he plays the pathetic sad sack.
Yeah. He does that so well, man. Good. Yeah. He's the sad sack. Yeah. But anyway, so they fight. They make up, though, don't they? Make Chatty Cathy doll. Only I don't pull the string; you pull it yourself.
They do not show them make up, except that they're in the bed together.
Yeah, they
so
both
that's
pause
before they go to bed.
They both pause. No, because they were in the bed, and then they
because John Candy's like cracking his knuckles and cracking his neck, clearing his sinuses.
Oh my gosh,
and doing something.
Okay, yeah, we pat
that I don't know.
Were, oh my gosh, that was another thing I could not have taken.
Reading his
novel, his sinuses out. Oh my gosh.
If I don't clear my sinuses, I'll snore all night.
Because his mouth is open, so you know that mucus is coming out when he's doing. No, Pam, no.
Okay, listen, I don't want to get vulgar because this is a family show, but there was one of the actions he performed. Was it scratching or was there a different implication?
I'm rolling with scratching.
Okay, good. All right, we'll do that.
I'm not sure that was intended, but I'm going to roll with scratching.
He was reading the Canadian Mounted.
Yes, I know he was doing that.
So then they make up. They go back to bed. The scene where they wake up and he's kissing him on the ear is priceless.
Oh, it's great.
That is
Steve Martin is receptive to it. He's like,
they're both half asleep, like taking it in.
Here's what I like though. What I like is that he justifies it because Steve Martin is holding his hand. He says, "Why are you kissing my ear?" And he responds with, "Why are you holding my hand?"
As if that makes it all okay, right? Where's your other hand?
The boundaries there, but the boundaries there, those are a little different boundaries. You're holding my hand, and I'm putting my mouth on your face. Those are different boundaries.
Which I'm sure you love that as well.
Oh my gosh, it's not good.
So could either of you have even filmed that scene? Could either of you let another man kiss you on the ear like that?
No. No. Say no, man. Just say it.
I probably could have. Could have.
What's a turkey roll?
Is that a turkey thing? Is it like processed turkey loaf?
Oh my gosh, that sounds so gross. Okay.
Like spam, like turkey spam?
Turkey spam, that sounds awful.
This movie captures an era that our kids have
That's true, man.
Clue of. So a couple things, couple reasons why this movie doesn't happen today, right? Cell phone technology.
Yeah.
Yep.
Uber.
Yes.
Hallelujah. Airbnb. 9/11. You know, just the travel. I mean, like there's so many things that have changed. Like that scene where he walks across the runway, which again is played up for hyperbole, but like it in our era is not even a believable thing to be funny. But back then it's like, it's funny. You know, it could have been. Like the world has changed so much. When Steve Martin goes to dial the rotary phone and it's locked,
I love it. It's so cool.
Vibrating beds. All of the hotels in this movie are like roadside inns that nobody stays in anymore. The Braidwood. I called the buddy of mine at the Braidwood
Inn.
Yeah, no, this was like looking through a yearbook.
Totally. Like the wife has no clue.
No idea. I know, that's exactly what I told Chrissy. It's like I would have texted you I would text you in bed like this dude spilled beer on my bed. I'm really pissed. Like I'd be texting her the whole time. Like she has no idea what's happening with her.
Chrissy, I just killed a man. Sorry. I'm gonna be on the lam. So after the hotel,
this movie doesn't happen today.
Yeah, that's
agree.
True.
Yes, it is funny to think about that.
Although
kind of
Due Date was basically this movie.
Yeah, Due Date's funny. That's funny.
And
I don't know if I've seen this. Due Date?
Robert Downey Jr. and Zach. Yeah, man.
Oh, I've never seen it.
Oh, are you kidding me?
They actually are carting a dead body.
No,
that
movie
is hilarious. Holy cow.
So say this movie is also a little bit of Tommy Boy, but go ahead, Donnie.
There's a little Tommy Boy to it for sure. Yeah.
Well,
no, I was just gonna follow up the hotel scene. Owen shows up to pick them up.
Oh my gosh, Owen just makes me want to move out of America.
Owen he's chewing tobacco, obviously. And he does that thing where he's just like, what does he do? He's like, just like stops everything. And Steve Martin's reactions to him are amazing. Now, Chris, here's my question though, because he spits the tobacco, he rubs his hand.
I know, I would never take that guy's hand.
Shakes Steve Martin's hand. I wrote down here, how much did you gag?
Oh my gosh, no. No.
Chris would have shook his hand without the saliva.
As soon as he did that, I was like, no. Oh my gosh, no.
He refers, I love that Owen, he talks about, they're talking about getting on a train, and he says, only if you're a hog, or whatever. and then he refers to the people train.
The people train.
Somewhere else. I'm like, the people train. Okay. Oh man,
I do love that he forces his wife to get out to carry that giant trunk.
Dude, that is great. She's small, but what did he say? She's small
but strong.
Strong or something.
Her first baby came out sideways.
Oh,
she didn't make a beep.
That's crazy.
Today, in this day and age, if they were making that movie today, that truck would have pulled up. And they would have done a close frame on a Make America Great Again bumper sticker.
No doubt.
Yeah, no doubt. So they get in the back of the pickup truck. And you guys got to know where I'm going with this, right? They're freezing.
Oh, yeah.
They're shaking.
Oh, of course.
Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, Just go, man.
Lloyd and Harry freezing and shaking. Steve Martin and John Candy did it first, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
so what
you're
funny. Saying is like
what temperature do you think it is
for all of these?
Oh yeah. What temperature do you think it is? One. You could have said 0, below freezing.
No, just
but
one.
He gives it 1. I love that scene. I love how they talk to the dog. Give me that glove.
Oh yeah, give me the glove.
Speaking of the dog, I did totally jump.
Oh, I jumped
with the dog.
That got me. Yeah. I wasn't ready for that. Then Del says to Neil, "Have you ever ridden on a bus?" And he's like, "No." He's like, "You're in for whatever, you know." Never has a truer statement been uttered than that. Bus life is the worst, man.
Oh my God.
Have either of you ever ridden on a bus?
Oh,
I have.
I've ridden on a bus with Donnie in Brazil.
Yes.
No,
I rode West Virginia in a bus.
Yeah,
and it was the worst thing
Greyhound,
ever.
Man. I've been on like 3 Greyhounds.
It's so bad.
They're bad.
It's so awful. Yeah.
Bad.
I guess now's as good a time as any to tell you this is only going to take us to Springfield.
Oh no, the bus.
I wanted to point out something real quick, and then I'll quit leading here. But there's a cameo. I think it's in the bus station by Galaga, the video game, which is the greatest video game of all time.
Well,
by the way,
that's
not wrong at all.
The prop.
But this movie is one of a few where Galaga makes a cameo appearance. It is also in War Games. It is also in Karate Kid.
That sounds like it would be a
Donnie's
great
new top 5. Top 5 2.0.
Oh my gosh. It is also in Pixels.
It really is.
It is. The real Pixels. And then it's... Hang on. It's in another movie. I can't read what I wrote. Oh, The Avengers. Because that's when Stark says, "Oh, Dude Man's over there playing Galaga on his monitor." Remember that?
Yeah.
That's right. And shit.
So, anyway, just thought I'd do a little Galaga shout out. Go ahead, carry on. Love that game. Greatest game.
I love the bus when they're making out. The couple are making out.
Oh, God.
Which another innuendo, by the way, with the smoking.
Oh, heck yeah.
Obviously, it didn't stop there. But when John Candy's like,
"We got caught."
So yeah, that's so.
Because John Candy tells him. I know he's like, "Hey, check these guys out."
He does. He's a total perv.
He's like, when he sits back in his seat, he's like, "Oh, you got caught."
Okay, so we got to talk about the car. Is my favorite thing in this movie, I think. And so let's go ahead and fast forward to what we alluded to, which is the rental car scene. And so let's start there because, like I said early on, from my recollection, I've only seen this movie like on TNT or like on TV, and so I cannot say that I've ever seen the F scene, But
this movie's rated R.
No, I understand
only
that.
because of this scene.
Because of this scene only.
And I understand that, but see, like I said, they would cut a lot of that stuff out on TV. I don't remember even seeing this scene before.
Well, you got a double Ferris Bueller cameo going on here.
Oh, yeah. That's
you
right.
got Ferris's dad earlier in the movie.
I'm sorry, and but all the flights have been canceled.
and then you've got the Stein. Secretary is what's her face? Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So,
Heidi. No, what's her name? McClure.
Edie McClure.
Edie McClure. Yeah.
So
who plays that character in every movie, show, whatever she's ever been in.
Yes, she is.
She's like, I'm going to be this person.
Yes.
Always.
So he gets the rental car. He gets driven out to the rental car area. The rental car is gone at that moment. And again, you guys have both seen it, but when you first saw it, do you remember? Did you think that John Candy had the car?
I still didn't think that till you said it at the top of the show. So you're saying that's because he used Steve Martin's credit card, he was able to take Steve Martin's car?
Yes, his car. He had that's Steve Martin's car.
From when though? When would Steve Martin have booked that car?
Well, that's the problem because Steve Martin wouldn't have had his credit card.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
It does. He says that it's in the movie. They say that in the movie.
He says it's his car.
It says it's his car.
Well, no, he says John Candy rented it in his name on his card. But there's no.
Why would the car be missing?
Well, yeah, that's John certainly Candy a question that I have.
It's his car. I'm going to go back again. I will send you the clip of it, but that is what he says. So I didn't know. I didn't remember that, and so I didn't know that either. So he doesn't get the rental car. He walks back all the way to the rental station in the airport and walks up. And that scene, it was hilarious. But he just rattles off how many Phil?
18 in 1 minute.
18.
Oh my gosh.
Which, by the way, I'm laughing before he starts talking. Just the look on his face while he's listening to her talk about Thanksgiving dinner, and he's just like,
yeah, he's losing it. You guys left out the scene right before that, though, when Steve Martin ends up laying and getting punched in the street, and he goes. The guy goes.
That's after.
No, that's after.
No, that's when John Candy pulls up and says, "I almost ran over your head."
Yeah, that's after he gets the girl out. Because he doesn't get the car. Because remember, he gets mad when the car's in. He throws out a slip.
Right. You're right.
And he does the tirade, and then she's like, "Well, where's your slip?" He's like, "I don't have it." And she's like, "Oh, you're effed." And so then he walks out. And
it's just great writing, by the way.
But of course, the walk back, he falls down a hill in the snow, and he's muddy and gross.
And he almost, if you pay attention, when he reaches for his hat and that truck runs over his hat.
He almost gets hit.
He almost run over. It's like right there, man. It's like 10 inches away. Pretty dangerous. Anyway.
Then I love when they show him walking back into the airport, and his tie's like over his head, kind of like Rambo style. I don't know what that was supposed to be.
Up sideways.
Yeah, I don't know what that was supposed to be.
From the wind,
because
probably.
He takes it down when he gets in there anyway. Yeah, so he has the tirade. He goes out. He's just in a crappy mood. The guy tells him whatever he tells him, and then he punches him. And that's when John Candy almost hits him with his own car. And then they get in the car.
I can tell you what he said. He said, if I wanted a joke, I would follow you into the bathroom and watch you go to the bathroom.
Right, that's right.
Yes, and then he gets laid out.
Then he gets punched.
And then he gets grabbed in the groin.
To which John Candy says, I've never seen that. I've never seen anyone get picked up by their testicles.
And then his voice is high pitched, which caught me off guard too. That's pretty funny.
I watched that scene.
Yeah, that voice thing was. I thought something was the matter with the movie, and I rewound it because I was like, "Is his voice sound?" But it was weird because John Candy's voice sounded fine. But I rewound it. I'm like, "Oh, that's right. He just got grabbed by the testicles."
I showed my son. I invited my son to watch from about the point he gets punched out and picked up like that. And he watches with me all the way up to the driving the wrong way scene, and they
want to race.
We laugh almost the entire time. It's just
yeah, because I probably won't.
That's when you get the seat adjustment. That's when you get Dell's critique of Steve Martin's.
Yes, that is so great.
Wait, what's the critique?
He's talking about Larry Bird. I'll just say he talks about Larry Bird and balls. That's it. And he dwells on it a lot.
That's right.
You know what would make me really happy? Dot.
Exactly. By the way, notice you were talking about flashback. No seatbelts worn in the movie, which you can't do that today. That's for sure. No, not in a movie.
No.
Nor smoke. You can't smoke in movies anymore either. John Candy's puffing away, man.
Yeah, he smokes in a restaurant. He smokes in a hotel room.
Yeah, he
smokes in the car, the rental car.
You could smoke in an airplane at that time.
Not a finer prop car has existed.
That car was amazing.
It was almost, I don't know which, I would pit it. I would like to see a drag race between that car and the family truckster.
I knew you were going to say the family truckster. It's like a mini family truckster. It's the same color and everything.
What is a family truckster?
From Vacation.
Oh yeah, okay. That's right. Yeah.
Kidding me?
So okay, we can fast forward. So they had great scenes in the car. They end up getting out of the car.
We're not fast forwarding past the driving the wrong way, are we?
Oh no. So that's kind of what kicks it off. Yeah. So he's driving the wrong way. The guy comes up behind him.
That scene, by the way, when he's driving with both hands pinned down and he's driving and they come to the stop sign.
That's right. Like, that's good too.
Brake.
They spin.
Hilarious.
That is good. And then I love because Steve Martin wakes up and he's like, you should take that jacket off. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. But he keeps driving. He doesn't stop or get out of the. I would have got out of the car and taken my jacket off. He just starts driving again, and the jacket's still on.
So they end up going between the two semi trucks.
Yes,
going the wrong way.
Yeah.
Before that, they say we're going the wrong way.
Yeah.
How do they know where we're going?
Yeah. No, they said we're going the wrong direction. So how do they know where we're going?
And Steve Martin goes, yeah.
Hey, that makes sense.
Totally agrees. That's logical. But so they hit the sides of the semi trailers.
Yep.
And they both for a moment turn into skeletons, which is
so
pretty amazing. Because it's almost subliminal. It's like boom, it's like so fast, and you're just like, yep. And then they have to peel their fingers at the dashboard.
So here's a question: Did they? So here's a theory: did they both die right then? And the rest of the movie is just like their last moments where they finally both get happiness.
Jacob's Ladder.
There's a Jacob's Ladder scenario for you right there.
Uh-oh.
So
but the entire special effects budget was spent on that scene.
Yeah. I mean, so sticky.
Sparks flying.
That's why you got the John Candy with a car door at the airport, because they couldn't afford to do anything else. That scene.
Just bring the car door.
So they get out of the car. They
didn't mention John Candy as the devil.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
He does look over and see him that way. It's awesome.
With the red suit and the pitchfork, he's like, ah!
And he is, he's maniacally.
Could you imagine that makeup job for what it had to have been 2 seconds of footage? It was like a blip. And
somewhere is just a photograph of John Candy wearing a devil suit. Yeah, walking around the set in a devil suit.
I want that photo. That photo is great.
I want that devil suit.
Heck yeah. So so they freak out, they park the car, they get out of the car, they have their moment, and the car catches on fire. And I love this scene because
Because you're assuming the car is done for, right?
Oh yeah,
the car is done for.
Yeah, of course.
We're never going to see that car again.
They're going to walk now.
Yeah, false.
But it's not called planes, trains, automobiles, and feet. All right, so that's not going to happen. So
when they're sitting on the trunk and you see their backs, and all you hear is the sound effect, where it's like. Like, you notice that?
Sound, yeah.
Yeah. My son goes, "Did one of them fart?" And I was like, no. Just wait.
Just wait. And then they turn around and they see it, and you can just tell at this point Steve Martin is starting to lose his mind. And he should. And and then of course the credit card thing comes up and he's like, "Oh, I gave it back to you."
Yeah, put it back in your wallet.
Right.
When he gets to the hotel, he's like, "I got a Visa here."
I got a Diners Club.
He's like, "Sir,"
you forgot the part where
like, "Sir, I can't take these."
He actually punches Dell in the gut.
Oh my God, that's right.
And Dell says, "That's how Houdini died, you know."
Yeah. You kill a man.
Kill me.
Doesn't he say when you punch me without warning? Isn't that wasn't that his caveat? He's like, "You're gonna kill me if you punch me without warning."
Yeah.
So they show up at another hotel.
That driving that car.
Driving the car.
So great.
Steve Martin has to peel his fingers off of the melted steering
wheel.
Which
was no longer bent forward as it was previously from the truck incident. They were what
I love though,
I do. Oh, by the way, I do love Steve Martin's fingertips.
So that's what I'm saying. When he has to peel his fingers out of the melty thing. But also, when they get out of the car, then they show the seats after they get out of them, and they're like all melted and smoky. That's pretty funny. So they go into another motel.
Yeah.
And
twin beds this time. Thank God.
Do what?
Twin beds this time.
Twin beds, yeah.
Thank God.
But when they're talking to the guy and they don't have any money, they don't have enough money. And Steve Martin, he offers him, I think, the watch, and he says, "Have mercy." He's like at his wit's end. He's like, "Please, man."
So my problem with that is a hotel room at a roadside motel in 1980, 45-6, $42.99.
Yeah, that seems high.
I mean, that's today. I think I could get a
crazy talk.
I can get a room at the Braidwood for $42.99 now.
Braidwood. I guess if you're the only hotel around, maybe you can charge a motel. It's a motel. So what I love though is then John Candy steps up to the window.
Oh man!
And he's in classic John Candy form.
Oh yeah.
The John Candy chuckle is the best chuckle ever. So he takes the watch off. He says, "I got $2," and he's like displaying the watch on his arm and a Casio. It's so great, man. It's good. So John Candy's perfect.
John Candy's great. I like that, of course, obviously he doesn't get a room, so Steve Martin's all cozy in his bed, and I love that John Candy is sitting in that car with the snow coming through the roof. It's just the saddest thing.
Just talking to himself, talking to Marie.
Wouldn't you at least just hang out in the hotel lobby?
I mean,
I would think that would be a better idea than being in the snow, freezing to death.
Did you pick up?
But if you're an angel,
that's right. That's the thing. He sits in the car as an angel to appeal to Neil's
his mercy side.
Yes, he needs to grow and soften.
You really nailed this.
Yeah,
you got it.
Very nice.
Did you catch the throwback props? Well, they weren't throwback then, but when they were snacking,
which
the Dorito bag.
Yeah, man.
The Dorito bag.
Classic.
Classic Dorito bag.
Yeah, man.
This is the scene where we get a Jamaica throw in when he says, "I'm gonna go with some rum."
That's right, Jamaican rum.
Take a trip to Jamaica. Irie, everything is Irie.
Yes, I remember that now.
That's right.
I had forgotten.
Little did you know, John, that
Feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme. I love that movie. I love Cool Running.
It's good.
Okay, so we get back on the road, and then we get.
Oh, they get pulled over.
They get pulled over. I always love a good cop scene. I honestly, I didn't remember them getting arrested, and I thought for sure they were going to get away. That they were just going to, it's kind of like the Dumb and Dumber thing, right? Where you're like, something's going to happen and they're just going to be able to go on their way. That obviously didn't happen.
He says, do you feel like this vehicle is safe? I do, sir. Yes, I do.
I do.
Yes.
And he looks like he does,
He's like, it may not look like much, but it'll get you where you're going.
In all fairness, the speedometer is melted. The radio works though. Weirdly, the radio works great.
When he's like, you know how fast you were going? He's like, no, sir, you know better than I would, because
he says that. He says, funnily enough, I was just talking to my friend here that our speedometer is melted.
Oh my God!
Do you think this vehicle is roadworthy? And then he goes, you don't have a side mirror. Nope, we lost that.
Yeah, he does a check down.
You don't have any gauges. Nope. But the radio works.
Strangely enough. That's good. So they get arrested. They impound the car. They get not necessarily arrested. They just get taken to the station. They have no transportation again. But alas, they're not going to walk. So we get another plan, which is a dairy truck.
I have a problem with the dairy. It's a beef. It's beef. Those are boxes of beef.
Oh, boxes of beef. Okay, sorry. All right, so what's your problem?
Well, when they're driving before they get pulled over, they pass a sign that says Chicago 102 miles.
Okay.
Oh. Now when they're in the truck, they say they're 3 hours away.
3 hours.
That guy drives really slow, apparently.
Well,
pretty slow.
Maybe he had some stop.
He's clearly not going through Pet Cemetery Town, because he would be driving like 80. It would be an hour and like 10 minutes.
That's what took so long. They were driving and they ran over a kid.
Ran over some children on the way.
And they had to go to this one.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
No. Okay, so we get the dairy truck or the meat truck. Which, that 3 hours in the back of that thing would be uncomfortable.
It's frostbite. Wouldn't it be?
Yeah. But really, it's hilarious, though, the way they play that, because Candy's in the cab, and when he gets out, you're thinking, oh, they're going to get in the cab. He's in there like, nope.
He's weird.
And what's funny is, his explanation for that is, he doesn't like people riding in there. But
Candy
just in there?
Is in the cab. Yeah, exactly.
So why does John Candy have a black eye in this scene?
I didn't notice that.
Does he?
When he gets out, he's got like a cut on his eye. I wonder if it's from a deleted scene where there was some sort of fight.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Might be where he tried to serial kill the driver of the truck.
Maybe
put him in his chest.
Donnie, you worked in an industrial freezer.
I did
once upon a time. How cold is it in one of these trucks?
Well, it depends on the truck. I mean, they
below freezing.
No,
it can't be. It can't be 1 degree. I mean, they've already,
Well, I don't know. I didn't do meat, but I guess they probably freeze some meat. Probably.
Yeah.
It would have been pretty dang cold. I mean, if it was only 50 degrees, if you're sitting in the back of it for 3 hours, you're going to be pretty darn nippy.
Pretty dang cold.
I am curious where Steve Martin got his Elmer Fudd hat. He's wearing that red,
that's right.
flannel-looking ear-flat hat.
The drive.
We had it in the back of Owen's truck, so maybe he got it. Okay. No, he didn't have it in the back of Owen's truck, did he? But he had it in the car.
So I feel like...
Give him the glove.
I feel like, because this is it, right? This
is home stretch. They get back to Chicago.
And they get to... I feel like it's very anticlimactic, to be honest. After all the transportation that we have, like, I kind of wanted them to be... riding a bicycle, a tandem bicycle into the house, like right when they're fixing to cut turkey. Something.
That's your end scene right there. They're pulling up freeze frame on them on a tandem bike pulling in the driveway. Yeah. That's perfect.
Do they look? Does the guy on the front look over his shoulder at the guy in the back like?
Yeah.
We're buddies. Okay, so we get here. They kind of say their goodbyes. They get on. He gets on the little train, the public transportation to go home.
The L train, dude.
The L train. Yeah. He
Donnie and I have been on that.
We have. Yes, we have.
I've never been to Chicago. So he has this little, flashback of all the fun times. It's funny because the flashback starts with just his wife and his kids, and then it quickly all of these flashbacks of
gets all smiley and
had to.
Yeah, he had to because he's an angel.
His angel self was appealing to his conscience.
It's drawing him back with the Force.
So he goes back.
No, he was pointing him back to other times, like at a good meal with his family when he was happy.
Yeah, but doesn't it end up with him thinking of Dell at different times on their trip?
Well, that's how it ends. Yeah.
Yeah, but it starts with the kids and the family and then Dell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awkward.
That's
a dark side kind of thing that's happening there. It's like, you will come back and get me.
See, I like that Donnie.
You will bring me into your family, into your home.
You guys are both just completely at opposite ends of the spectrum.
He's a malevolent being,
you're
dude.
Right in the middle.
And I'm right in the middle. I'm just taking it kind of for what it's worth, I guess. So, whatever.
You
never see in the steamer trunk, people, what's going on in that trunk.
So what happens is he ends up going back and getting him. He finds him, I guess, at some sort of other train station or bus station or something. We don't really know.
It's a station.
It's a station of some sort.
For sure. We don't know how long it took him to get there either, Chris.
Yeah. But I mean, you have to think he's carrying that trunk. He couldn't have went that fast by himself.
Yeah. Why does that thing not have wheels on it, for crying out loud?
It is the 80s. Is that a thing?
Because
he's homeless.
He never has to actually carry it because he's an angel and he can fly. And he only needs to invoke.
He's carrying a dead body in there.
He only needs to invoke the weight of the trunk when he needs to appeal to the conscience of a mortal.
You two.
Insane.
You two. You're wrong. You're all wrong. Okay, so
you could argue the trunk is a MacGuffin.
So he finds him. He says, "What's up?" And John Candy says, "My wife died 8 years ago," and
which is a total gut punch in itself. Dude.
Absolutely.
You're like, wait, what?
Oh, I was.
This movie's been really feel goody, funny until right this moment.
I know.
Your wife died, not only dead, but 8 years she's been dead. Yeah. And you're still roaming the country. A homeless man.
Because they both died in a car accident together, and Dell has not been freed to move to the next realm until he helps some sad sack like Neil to move on with his life. And bam, there's your reason.
Okay. You sold me on that. I'm sold.
He does it again, by the way. He plays the sad person again.
He plays it up. He appeals to the emotions, man.
John Candy.
This movie is great until the last 30 seconds.
I teared up. It was very sweet. This guy who's just spent the entire movie just trying to connect with somebody after 8 years of being alone and lost. It got me. I thought it was very sweet. He brings him home. They and then it ends very awkward. It also ends because I feel like my wife would be like at the door,
but
she's starting to cook.
She doesn't know.
No, but she's upstairs. Coming. But still, everybody else was in the foyer of that house.
Oh no, you're right. That's true. Everybody was standing there.
Yeah, so they opened the door.
Okay, well that raises another question. Why were they all standing in the foyer?
Maybe someone saw him coming up the walk.
Yeah, they probably saw him coming up the walk.
Maybe so.
Which again, I mean, Christy would have ran out the door, especially since she probably hadn't heard from me in several days at this point, or at least probably 24 hours.
Even several hours. If I went several hours, nobody's heard from me, knows where I'm at for 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah, be freaking out. And so she would have ran out the door and met me at the sidewalk. And he walks in, he sees his kids, he sees his in-laws and his parents. And then they're like, all right. And then here comes the wife, she's,
and awkward freeze frame.
And then it ends on Dell's face. Very
it's super weird. The last minute of this movie is just bizarro world.
Here's how they should have ended this movie. Steve Martin's kissing his wife. He looks over and he says to Del, "Why don't you take a picture of the last one?"
Hey, I was going to ask
that. He says that.
Did that?
He says that, and then his wife says, "Who are you talking to, honey?"
Oh, bam. That would have been great.
Bam.
Roll credits, John Hughes. So actually, I wanted to ask this: did that phrase originate here? Where did that phrase originate? I was going to look it up.
Pee Wee Herman, I think.
What phrase?
The take a picture last
longer.
Does he say that in the movie?
Yeah,
the
couple says that.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
I was trying to think of how early that was. And Pee Wee Herman does say it, but is Pee Wee Herman before this?
Yeah, 1985 is Pee Wee Herman.
Pee Wee's Big Adventure?
Okay.
Yeah, Pee Wee's Big Adventure.
I always thought Pee Wee made that famous.
Could be. Yeah, it might be. You might be right.
Yeah.
Good old Pee Wee.
He also made Large Marge. Tell him Large Marge sent you famous.
Large Marge.
I love that scene.
So,
pretty good stuff. I was
wondering. I don't. Yeah. So
nobody's gonna mention Kevin Bacon is in this movie.
Oh yes. Okay. All right. So I actually sent this message to you. I watched this. I watched this with my wife. The opening scene of this movie, when they're running through New York, we have Kevin Bacon, a young, long-haired Kevin Bacon running through, and I'm like, oh, Kevin Bacon. I didn't even remember he was in here. I'm like, oh, Kevin Bacon's here. To which my wife responded, I do not like Kevin Bacon. And I'm like, I think you have to move out. Like, I mean, I don't think we need to talk about this anymore, do we?
Wait, is she clarifying her dislike for Kevin Bacon? Is she saying she doesn't like 80s Kevin Bacon? Or is she saying she doesn't like Kevin Bacon at all?
I think it was a pretty definitive statement that she does not like Kevin Bacon.
Wow.
Like I know somebody who does not like Kevin Bacon.
That's weird.
It's not my wife, but there is a person I know that hates Kevin Bacon. It's a person from church that hate Kevin Bacon.
First of all,
despise Kevin Bacon.
That's ridiculous. Have you ever seen Stir of Echoes?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Tremors.
Ooh, I love Tremors. You almost had a Tremors poster.
I've never seen Tremors.
What?
Well, we already talked about this.
There's a pretty funny F-word scene in that movie.
We're going to do it.
You've got to do Tremors.
My wife just heard me say Tremors, and she yelled across the room, another stupid movie.
Your wife said that?
Yes.
Why, because Kevin Bacon's in it?
I don't know. Chrissy, why do you hate Kevin Bacon?
We want to know.
She said he's not a good actor.
What? He's great.
There you go, man.
I watched. I saw 7 things you. I watched one of these 7 things you might not know about planes, trains, and automobiles videos.
Yeah.
And they said that if you listen to the dialogue of the movie that Neil's wife is watching, she is watching. She's having a baby.
Oh, really?
Oh, so you think she's pregnant?
No.
The movie is called She's Having a Baby. It is with Kevin Bacon.
But then the guy who made the video speculated that some Redditor or someone else says that Kevin Bacon's character in this movie is the character he played in She's Having a Baby.
Oh, dun dun dun.
This is too deep for me.
Going down there, getting
rabbit hole.
I love Kevin Bacon. I love Kevin Bacon. What is that movie? Rounder? No, not Rounders.
Sleepers, man.
Sleepers.
We're going to do that one. That's going to be a movie we're going to do. That needs to be on the list. That's a great movie.
Christy has to watch it, though, because he acts butt off in Sleepers.
He is.
Yeah, I like Sleepers.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. I like it.
All right.
All right. So let's wrap then. I mean, I'm trying to think. Donnie, you normally have notes. Anything that we missed?
Kevin Bacon was my note, dude.
Okay. Kevin.
That's all I got.
Bacon.
I covered everything else.
I was Googling this. I can't find it. Pee Wee was first, and he definitely made it. He used that phrase a lot, but I can't find if it was a common phrase before that or not. But anyway, I did when I heard it on the movie, because I didn't look up years, so instantly I thought, crap, is this the first time that we heard this? But yes,
I do have one other note.
All right,
one other super quick, super easy. When John Candy's driving and singing, oh, so good.
Oh, he's singing Mess Around.
So,
that's
He's so into it,
yeah, joint. Oh, that's great.
That's another scene where my son just was cracking up.
I love it. He's playing the instruments.
Yeah, and the reason I reference,
great, man, I miss Candy so much, man.
Good. He's good.
The reason I reference
Candy would be great.
Oh, he would be awesome. Or maybe not though. What if he went the route of like Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray?
No, man.
Or not Bill Murray and
he was actually funny.
Yeah. He was funny. The reason I reference, and whenever we talk about some of these old movies, and I reference anytime I give a shout out to like, yeah, Gavin thought that was really funny, is because to me it's like if a 16-year-old kid in 2018 can laugh at it,
it's gold, bro.
Then it's an indicator of its longevity.
No doubt.
Gold, man.
And he loved that whole scene. He was cracking up at the driving scene.
Yeah, this movie is way better than I remembered it being. I always liked it, but when I watched it, I was cracking up. It was really funny.
That's good.
Except the stupid last minute.
That same video that I watched that had the 7 things thing said that John Hughes wrote it in like 4 days. And that it was based on an experience that John Hughes actually had, where he left New York, was going to Chicago, wound up in Wichita, and didn't even get home where he was trying to go.
Oh, wow.
Or maybe he's trying to go to LA. Wherever he was trying to get to, he didn't get there for like 5 days.
Oh,
that
cool.
sounds awful.
It does sound
so
that's really cool.
He wrote Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
I love John Hughes. It took me completely by surprise. I did not know this was a John Hughes.
16 Candles.
So yeah,
Breakfast Club. Ferris Bueller.
Did he do St. Elmo's Fire?
Charlie Sue.
Did he do St. Elmo's Fire?
Yeah.
All right, so let's end then. If there's nothing else, let's review it. So we'll go around the horn. Phil, I'm going to start with you. As always, we kind of give our own fun review of the film. So Phil, how would you rate Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?
I'm going to give it a perfect 10 Casio watches.
Wait.
Properly displayed along the arm.
He slides it down. Yeah. So good, man. Oh, it's so good.
I love it. I love it. Donnie, how about you? What's your rating for
Planes? I will give Planes, Trains, and Automobiles 81 squishy towels. 80.
No.
81 squishy towels.
Not.
Is the water cold?
The water is cold. Would it be better if it was warm?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna
really,
absolutely,
and it could be urine. It could be peed in it, or something.
Don't care.
Say urine.
Don't care.
It's gross. It's no matter what. It's gross. I don't
either way. All right. So
Chris,
I think
what's your rating?
Is great. I would give this movie 10 giant, suitcases full of dead bodies.
Yes.
And
yes, you would. You know it, Phil.
So,
you know she's in there.
No. John Candy's a good guy.
What happened? He never got married. He fell in love, and the girl he proposed, and the girl said no, and so he killed her, put her in the trunk, and carried her around,
and dreamed up a marriage and a backstory that never happened.
Good.
No.
Yep.
What happened?
And let me tell you why. Let me tell you the last substantiating.
Oh gosh, here we go.
It's the scene you already referenced. It's when he's in the car, he's talking to her. And he says, I wish you could be here with me right now. But we know that's not going to happen because he's trapped in the ethereal plane. And he says,
she's trapped in the trunk. No. He can't get her out.
He says, I finally meet someone I connect with. And I go and mess it up.
He does say that, which then brings me back
to
my point, which is that he has spent 8 years brokenhearted and has not been able to find. He's been alone, and he has been struggling, and he finally found somebody that he can connect with. Yes.
No, he's talking.
Everybody's alive. Everybody's alive. People
on
don't
the
listen
ethereal plane self saying, "I finally found a way out of this, and I messed it up."
Oh my god.
All right, we got to get out of here. Guys, this is
that
Real
theory
Amigos.
is going to make this podcast
we are
go viral.
A monthly podcast where we like to talk about movies like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. You can subscribe to our podcast on the audio service of your choice. Google Play, Stitcher, SoundCloud, iTunes. You can subscribe to our channel on YouTube. We do a video and an audio version once a month. We don't really have a schedule for when that's going to be, but in the new year that will change, but just be looking for it. It will be there. But that's it for Donnie and for Phil. We appreciate you guys coming along for the ride.
We'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time.
Squish.
Bye.
Squish. Adios.